everyone. Welcome to EduMatch. Very happy to have you all here with us. So joining us today, we have a very, very special guest. We have Alon Gilboa from Explority. So super excited to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us, Alon.
Thank you, Sarah. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to tell our viewers a little bit about Explority. I know that you're going to go into more depth during our conversation, but Explority is a web and mobile platform that makes it easy for educators and schools to manage engaging out-of-classroom educational experiences, from short field trips to longer multi-day or week group programs. And teachers and schools currently using Explority report saving days of work. It enhances the personal experience of students, and it also provides an easy and seamless collaboration between a network of teachers, students, parents, administration, and student tour operators. So that is awesome. We're all about like saving people headaches. So definitely excited to have you here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. So Explority is really a platform whose mission is to help teachers and students get out of the classroom and experience the world. We all know how important experiential education is in the lives of young people and the lives of students. A lot of studies show that these kinds of out-of-classroom experiences really enhance students socially, personally, and even academically. And what we're doing is we're building the tools that give educators the ability to really have the smoothest experience, not just with the students, but also with the parents, with their administration, with the vendors they might be working with. So it doesn't necessarily have to be these long multi-day trips, which are obviously the most complicated ones, but even short field trips, the ones that take a few hours to do, teachers are so busy as it is. They shouldn't have to deal with Excel spreadsheets and paper forms and, sending money in with the kids. It should really be streamlined. In 2018, things are easy in every other aspect. Why not with this?
I agree 100%. So that is great. That's really going to help out our viewers. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired your passion for creating this awesome product?
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Alon Gilboa. I'm the CEO of Explority. I have two co-founders as well. And we really started working on Explority about 2.5 years ago, when we ourselves were actually organizing a group program of our own. And we saw how big of an issue it was for people. And if it was such an issue for us, we couldn't imagine what it was like for people that aren't technical and that have a lot of other things on their minds. So we're willing to work with this, and we talked to a bunch of different people, not just teachers and educators, but really across the spectrum of different industries. And what happened was we built this platform, and we found that there were teachers that were participants of group programs that were already using our platform from the beginning. And they came to us and said, hey, we're organizing these group programs, we're organizing these trips abroad, we're organizing a trip to Chicago, we're doing all these different things. We were with using your platform, can we use this for our purposes as well? And we said, absolutely. So we actually really targeted then towards educators, building out a lot of the features for, being able to communicate not just with the participants or the students, but also with the parents themselves. So a lot of these different things. And we really found that educators were the ones that were benefiting it from those. So we really decided to focus all our energies on education. And so far, it's been really going really well for us. We're at over 75 schools across the country. More than 1,000 different group experiences have gone through the platform. Because there's the ability to make payments for these programs through the platform. More than $2.5 million have gone to the platform. So we're really comfortable, with where we're at. And we know that, we already have 10,000 end users. And that's really just while we've been in beta, sort of perfecting the product. So we're really excited to bring it out to the world and have more and more teachers use it, because actually it's free for individual educators to use, which I know is a very big selling point to educators. So basically, we want to get rid of as much friction as possible when a teacher is making that decision on what platform they're going to use, how they're going to organize this thing. We want to make it as easy as possible.
Fantastic. That is our favorite word here at EduMatch, free. So definitely love that. And hearing you explain the platform, I'm thinking back to the days where I was working with students and taking them to like Montreal and Quebec City and just something like that to help facilitate with the parent communication as well. That would have been such a huge help. So that is awesome. That Absolutely. Is awesome.
Just to give you an example, we're the teachers that have used our product, that have used Explority, have told us that in the past for multi-day trips, a few days, it might take them 120 hours of work to do. And for longer international trips, it could take up to 500 hours. So these are really hours that add up over months and months, because obviously when you're organizing something like this that's much longer, it takes, could take up to a full school year to organize. So being able to have one platform where everything sort of flows in terms of the logistics information and all the forms that need to be gathered and documents that need to be sent out, the educational content, right? Because obviously there's a reason why this kind of trip is happening. And then also the communication and collaboration with the students, with the parents, with administration, being able to bring together all the different sides and saving a lot of people, time and effort and money.
Definitely, that makes things a lot easier when everything is in one place and everybody has access to get what they need instead of checking my email here, checking the website there. So that is definitely beneficial. So you were telling us a little bit about the history behind it. So could you dive in a little deeper? Tell us what was the specific pain point that brought you to this?
Yeah, so I mean, the pain point came about really from trying to get everyone on the same page on one hand. So that's what I was sort of alluding to in the logistics part. But then also, how do you capture really the essence of the experience that you're organizing, right? So for a lot of kids, when they're taking a trip like this, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? It doesn't matter if it's a band trip or a journalism trip or a trip to Montreal like you took your students. These are really trips that really leave an indelible mark on students while they're taking it, then years afterwards. So when we were looking at ways to make it easier and also make it more memorable for students, right? To really have the biggest impact on these kinds of experiences. That's really where that was our starting point. And then we really decided to sort of start talking with people and see what those pain points are. And obviously we expanded then to a lot of the more logistical, kind of the more administrative stuff that now are really, really popular in terms of using Explority.
Absolutely. Okay, that is wonderful. So for anyone who's not familiar with it, could you take us into kind of the specific features? I know that you spoke about them a little bit in the introduction, but if you wouldn't mind just telling us about the specific parts that can really help to facilitate this.
Sure, absolutely. So the core of Explority is really the ability, like I said, for the educator to create these experiences. When we say experiences, basically what we're saying is think about like a container, right? You're taking a group of students to Chicago, and in the container, you have all the forms you need, and you have the documents, and you have the communication with the parents, and being able to send out push notifications if you need to, or emails, or all these different things, but making it organized. And that's really where it starts. So when you log on to Explority, and any educator listening here can actually go to explority.com right now and create an account and start using it. We're obviously going to make changes, make it even easier as time goes on, and we're always looking for great feedback from all who are using it. But really the idea is that when you're creating an experience, all you have to do is click one button, and then a wizard opens up that basically asks you what kind of experience you're organizing. Are you organizing a half-day field trip? Are you organizing something longer? And then it is able to very smartly adapt itself to what kind of trip or program you're organizing. Maybe you're organizing a tournament that involves a number of different schools together. So being able to have that, and then just going, being able to decide what are the dates of this experience. So let's say I'm taking a group of students to Washington, D.C. in May. I can go in and say from May 1st until May 6th, that's my time. I can, if I want to, go more into detail, put in exactly what's happening when, and then go through the whole process of putting in the forms, putting in the different things that need to be added. Now, we're also creating a marketplace, a network for teachers to be able to collaborate with themselves, to be able to share ideas, share itineraries. Let's say there's a drama teacher that's taking a group of students to New York, then she can then share that itinerary with other teachers, and without having to recreate the wheel every time, but really be able to share best practices. So we're really working on creating a library of content, being for teachers able to share with each other, but then also to allow teachers and educators to be connected to student tour operators and other vendors that they might be working with, but rather than having to rely on the travel agents that they might be used to from just their local neighborhood, what we want to do is open it up and make it so that when they're looking, they can, on Explority, they'll be able to write in what they're looking for, in terms of I'm taking a group of 30 students to Chicago, and this is what I want to happen. Then the student tour operators that are interested will be able to send in competing quotes, and that way the teacher can know that they're getting the best price for that specific trip. and a lot of different things like that make it really, what we want to create is create a no-brainer type of situation where, all the things that a teacher or an educator needs when they're creating it during and after are all in one place.
That is very, very cool. So I love that. I love like all of the robustness of your platform and everything that you're able to do with it. So that is fantastic. So I remember that you said that you're in beta right now. When is the launch date, and what can we expect to see from you and from Explority in the near future?
Sure. So we're actually planning on launching in November, this coming November, so about in a month. We are, in the next coming, I would say, half year, our focus is really on the design and the UX, really refining the edges, because now, at this point, we already, like I said, we already have 75 schools on board. We already have a number of different educators using it, so we really feel comfortable with where the product is at. And now it's just a matter of making it easier for the educators to build these experiences, making it easier for parents and students to log in. But again, I mean, that's really where we're at. And we're also going to be working with a number of student tour operators who will basically serve as our distribution partners, because it's in their interest as well. What they're doing is they're able to give their customers, which are teachers, this platform and really make their life easier. So it really creates a win-win type of situation for all sides. And one more thing that I want to note is that we were just at a conference this past week in Massachusetts for the Computer Using Educators Conference, MassQ, and we were talking with not just educators, which we're very enthusiastic about it, but also superintendents and principals, who said that a lot of these things with field trips, with longer trips, a big issue for them that they face is that they let's say a parent calls up the secretary and asks what's happening with his student or what's happening with his class, a lot of times the administration is sort of left in the dark, or they start to have to dig through papers. Things are unorganized. If there's, God forbid, an emergency that happens, what happens next? So we're really creating also a dashboard for at the administration level. And that's going to be sort of a more premium subscription. So if an administration or a school wants to have like a bird's eye view of everything that's happening, they'll be able to do so from one place. But like I said, for individual teachers, individual educators, it'll always remain free and open for them to use it for any type of experience they want.
Nice. This is great information, and love hearing about your process. Love hearing about your journey. Lots of elements of design in there. So I know that like there'll be other people who will be learning from you probably in a secondary, unintended way when they're hearing you talk about your process as well. So that is awesome. But definitely wanted to encourage everyone to check out Explority. It is. It just sounds like it's going to make life much, much easier. So how can people find out more about Explority and get in touch with you all online?
Sure. So the best place is ExplorerT.com. There you can find a really nice sort of explainer video, animated video that really within 90 seconds explains to you, really goes through exactly what Explority is and how it can help you as an educator.
So you put together student trips. Chances are you're spending countless hours planning, organizing, and managing to try to give your students a fantastic experience. The time and frustration of juggling multiple files, paper checks, permission forms, and back-and-forth emails can quickly add up. And with costs going up and teachers' workloads increasing, time and money matter more than ever. So start working smarter, not harder. Introducing Explority, the ultimate, smart, easy-to-use group experience management platform to handle your student trips, all in one place. Explority helps you throughout the entire life cycle of your trip. Use our marketplace to find the perfect experience from top-rated student tour operators with other teachers' reviews. Browse existing trip options, or easily create your own plans and receive competing quotes. When it's time to get students and parents on board, say goodbye to messy email chains and use our awesome group engagement app. In one dashboard, Explority lets you create and instantly send interactive forms and documents to students and parents for quick collaboration. Collect and manage payments effortlessly with automated invoicing and optional online payments. Put together educational content and multimedia related to the trip for students to learn and enjoy. The best part? Get an instant look anytime on exactly where things stand. It couldn't be easier. Receive competing quotes for the best prices. Save days' worth of time with automated processes. And create amazing experiences for your students.
You are listening to EduMatch.
If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. It's either now or never to make your dreams come true. You better wake up and pay attention. Hey everybody, it's Dean from Orlando, Florida, coming to you on Monday, April 2nd, 2018. And I am very excited because today is the official release date of my first solo book titled The Why in You. Journey to the Why in You. I'm very excited that this is available on Amazon in Kindle versions and in paperback. There's your back cover right there. I am so excited because when I think about my journey as an educator, it didn't start yesterday. It started even from an early age. And so this book contains anecdotes, stories about the why in me. And so as you read it, as you pick it up, and I encourage you to do so, I challenge you to consider the why in you, the obstacles, right? That were not always positive. They were not always easy. The journey's never easy, but it is worth it. And there is something positive in every negative if you can just see it. I really do believe that. There is something positive in every obstacle that if you could just see it, it will help you to continue going on that journey as an educator, as an administrator, as a teacher. And so we have a job to do. And so that journey is so important to be embraced. And thank you in advance for checking it out on Amazon. Again, it's The Why in You. You can even type my name in on Amazon. It should pop it right up. You can also go to deangainey.com and find it there. You can click directly on the link and it'll take you to Amazon. Again, thanks in advance for checking it out, and have a great day, as well as identify the why in you.
Now back to more learning on the EduMatch podcast.
We're also on social media. We're going to actually start ramping up our social media use. Up until now, we've been very focused on our product, but now we're definitely going to start spreading more content marketing and things like that to really get the word out, not just about us, but also about experiential education in general and how teachers and educators can really make the most of it. And of course, if anyone wants to get a hold of us, the best place is hello@ExplorerT.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions or suggestions or feedback that anyone has.
And there's also a case study video that you sent me that we're going to put into the podcast right about now.
My name is Nicole Voss, and I am the theater teacher at Parkway Central High School. When you're organizing a trip, it can be very, very difficult, challenging, overwhelming. For short day trips, it usually takes about 120 hours. For international trips, about 500 hours to plan. Paperwork and signatures required, and all the phone calls back and forth between the travel agent, myself, to parents, to Excel sheets. Working with Explority to organize my trip to Chicago was one of the best experiences that I ever had. I would say Explority saved me at least 75% of my workload time. My parents loved the convenience of Explority to be able to pay online with their credit card. I think my students really enjoyed the app as well. They could see my push notifications to them. They could see the agenda and see exactly where we were going.
Explority was helpful in this out-of-classroom experience, more helpful than putting a lot of little pieces together because it had everything in one place.
The more opportunities that I can provide for my students, the more successful and better they're going to become. The more I can educate them outside of the high school setting, that's what's going to educate them and become better. So I want to provide as many opportunities as I can for my students. I would definitely recommend ExplorerT to other teachers.
You are listening to EduMatch.
Hello, my name is Mandy Fralick, and my book, The Fire Within, is currently available on Amazon. The Fire Within is a book of stories by educators who have gone through personal and professional adversities and who have come through stronger on the other side. They use their superpowers that they gained with their students in order to be better educators. If this sounds like stories of superheroes, you are absolutely right. There's also a chapter on trauma and how it affects the brain, and a chapter covering post-traumatic growth and secondary traumatic stress and how it affects educators in their job. So if you are interested in The Fire Within, you can find it right now on Amazon by searching The Fire Within: Lessons from Defeat That Have Ignited a Passion for Learning. Thank you.
Now back to more learning on the EduMatch podcast.
So I definitely want to wish you the best, and please keep us posted on your journey. And everyone check out Explority, so ExplorerT.com, launching in November. And just wanted to thank you again, Alon, for taking the time to spend with us today.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. And for everyone who is watching, we will be back in 45 minutes with Tweet and Talk featuring Brian Kulak. So he's going to be talking about gender in leadership. So definitely check that out. So we'll see you all soon. Take it easy.